You know that feeling, right? Someone just hits you with a stinging, totally unprovoked insult. What do? Do you fire back? Do you just stand there and take it? Well, it turns out there's a third option, a really powerful one, that kind of changes the whole game. And we're going to break it down right now.
So, let's just start with a question that gets right to the heart of this. We're always told we have to stand up for ourselves, That being silent means you're just letting the other person win. But what if that's not true? What if I told you that silence could actually be your greatest strength? We're about to flip that whole idea on its head.
But look, before we get into the how-to, we have to be real about the problem itself. Because, let's be honest, insults hurt. There's a very real, very human sting that comes with being on the receiving end of one, and we can't just pretend it doesn't.
I mean, it is a total emotional roller coaster, isn't it? First, there's that jolt of shock, that initial pain, and then the self-doubt starts to creep in, and you hear this little voice going, wait, am I really like that? And almost immediately, that primal urge to retaliate just kicks in, and it's fueled by this anger that totally clouds your thinking. It's a natural reaction, for sure, but it's not always the smartest one. Okay, so to figure out the best way to respond, we gotta understand the motivation. Let's just shift our focus away from our own hurt feelings for a second and take a look at the person who's actually throwing the insult. Why are they really doing it?
Well, one huge reason is something we can call the downward pull. Some people, when they see you moving forward, when they see you succeeding, instead of focusing on their own path, their only goal becomes dragging you back down to their level. It's like your success is a spotlight on their own failures, and an insult is just their way of trying to turn that light off.
And what's really hiding underneath that downward pull? So often, it's just plain old jealousy. People who are deeply jealous will use insults as a weapon, a lot of the time for no real reason at all, other than to try and chip away at something you have that they wish they did. The insult, it's not really about you, it's about them.
All right, so now that we kind of get the why, let's dive into the how. How do we handle this? I'm going to share two really simple but honestly pretty powerful analogies that can completely reframe the way you think about insults from now on.
First one up is the dog analogy. Just picture this. You're walking down the street and a dog just starts barking like crazy at you. What do? Do you get down on all fours and start barking back? No way, right? Of course not. You recognize it's a dog. That's what dogs do. They bark. And you wisely just choose a different route to avoid it.
And right along with that, we have the mud puddle analogy. Imagine you accidentally step into a big, messy puddle of mud, and it splashes all over your nice, clean pants. Do you get mad and start kicking the puddle? No, that would just get you even filthier. The smart move is to just walk away and focus on cleaning yourself off.
You see the crucial point here, right? It's crystal clear in both of these. Whether it's a barking dog or a mud puddle, engaging with the source of the negativity only makes things worse. For you. You can't clean mud by kicking it, and you definitely can't reason with a barking dog by barking back.
And all of this, it just brilliantly illustrates the most effective strategy we have. Once you start to see the insult as just barking or just mud, the solution becomes so obvious. It's not about fighting back. It's about strategic disengagement.
And this is the key. Your silence isn't weakness, it's control. It's you refusing to get down in the mud with them. By not responding, you don't give the insult any power. You don't give it any more of your precious energy. You just let it die.
Think about what happens when you don't stay silent. It follows such a predictable pattern. It starts with an insult. You get angry. You reply. They come back with something even worse. Before you know it, you're both caught in this escalation spiral. But in the end, who really gets hurt? You do. The person throwing insults often has nothing to lose, but you do.
Okay, but like any good rule, this one has a really, really important exception. Because not all insults come from jealous strangers or people just trying to pull you down. Sometimes they come from people we actually care about.
And this is where the strategy gets a little more nuanced. For strangers or, just acquaintances, the rule holds firm. Ignore them, walk away. It's not worth your energy. But for a loved one, a partner, a parent, a close friend, an insult might actually be coming from a misunderstanding. In that case, you do have a responsibility to clarify. It's just you can't do it right away.
And this part is absolutely critical. The worst possible time to address an insult is when emotions are running high. If you try to explain yourself or argue in the heat of the moment, you're just going to add fuel to the fire. The best strategy is to wait. Wait until everyone is calm and then have a real conversation to clear up the misunderstanding.
So, let's bring all this together. The dog, the mud, the power of silence, the exception for loved ones. It's all pointing toward one ultimate goal. And it's the most important thing of all. Your peace of mind. That's it. By choosing not to engage, you are maintaining your own standards of behavior. You are flat out refusing to stoop to their level. You proactively remove that source of negativity from your path, which also denies them any chance to insult you in the future.
In the end, this is all about prioritizing your own well-being over the pointless satisfaction of some witty comeback.
And that's really what it all comes down to, isn't it? This isn't about winning an argument, it's about winning back your peace. So the next time you're faced with an insult, just ask yourself this one simple question. How will you protect your peace?